Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. Really glad you could attend. Step inside, step inside. My name is Paul Calamere. This is Your City, Your Voice, coming to you live from downtown Niagara Falls in the studios of 4680Q Radio. We thank you for tuning in today. I'm making sure all systems are go. Everything looks good and we're ready to go. Today is City Council Agenda Review Day. I'm starting early at 11 o'clock because I want to get through the agenda in the next hour. I don't have a guest today. I want to get through the agenda in the next hour, and I want to be able to go home, kick back outside, and watch the city council meeting, which starts at 1 o'clock today. Don't forget it. Put it on your calendars. 1 o'clock today. Get ready for it, and we're good to go. And I don't know if it's going to be a real long meeting. There's 16 pages or something. Nothing out of the ordinary. Nothing out of the ordinary in the agenda. There'll be a couple of points to discuss. Probably we'll go through them, and that will be it. So let's get the show underway. I'm going to talk about my sponsors first, Hamilton Glowstone Lighting and Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop. And if you can see, I'm wearing a Wild Bill shirt. Look at that, Wild Bill's. Maybe you can see the back of it there. It's got the Wild Bill Camaro on it. Yeah, pretty cool shirt. And, I always talk about Wild Bill's, how he's going to fix your car and get you going in the summer. And it's going to be a happy motoring summer for everybody. But I think today I'm just going to go into something a little bit different about Wild Bill, Ken Hunter, and his commitment to the community of Niagara Falls, the city of Niagara Falls. Bill Hunter runs his business. He's got a really good business, but he gives back to Niagara Falls. Tonight at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock, they have the car show downtown here. And Wild Bill is, Ken Hunter is a major sponsor of that. If you come down here, you'll see Ken Hunter here with his I think it's a 69 Camaro, and his wife's got a Nova, around a 70 Nova or something like that. Hey, I'm not a car expert, so I could be wrong on the years, but they are 60s or early 70s muscle cars, and they're awesome. And he's down here all the time. He also sponsors the Chippewa car shows and a lot of other shows that are in the Niagara Falls area and vicinity. He's a great guy, sponsors a lot in the city, and he really gives back to the community, which is something we all want to see. We want to see the businesses that do well in the city give back, and he honors his father with everything he does, of course, because his business is named after his father, William Hunter, who passed on, God rest his soul, and he wanted to honor him, so he named his garage Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop. And everything he does reflects on that, and it's a way to honor the memory of his father, who had a shop in Niagara Falls for 25 years. So when you're going there, you're dealing with a local Niagara Falls guy who is giving back to the community, a great guy. So you'll always feel good when you go there because, anything that you spend with Wild Bill, some of it's going to go back into the community and sponsorships and events and that kind of thing. He has a big heart, Ken, and he really does give back. So if you want to get your car fixed, you need anything done, brakes, oil, air conditioning, alignments, mufflers or exhaust systems, you name it. He has all the diagnostic equipment. He's going to take care of you. Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop. He also has a full body shop, of course, and he'll take care of your car if you get in a wreck. Down on Oakwood Drive by the Kia dealership. Go see him today. And thank you, Ken Hunter, for this beautiful shirt. Wild Bill's, it might look backwards on the camera because I am in selfie mode and everything's backwards, but I assure you, if you hold it up to a mirror, you will see it's Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop. Okay, so we got the City Council agenda today. Let's go through it. We want to get through it as fast as we can while explaining everything because we do want to watch it live on TV at 1 o'clock, right? So I'm just going to, oh, excuse me. As soon as I get in here, I start coughing all the time. I don't know why. Don't ask me why. Give me a little sip of vodka and I'll be fine, right? So we're going to call to order. And Canada, Madeline Cicchino is going to sing live in Chambers. And of course, congratulations to her. It's always tough to sing in front of a crowd. And it's nice to see somebody getting up there and singing. And I'm sure she'll do a fine job. Most people who are up there singing did. Even Andy, my buddy Andy, was up there singing a few months ago. Then we have a land acknowledgement and traditional indigenous meeting to open the ceremonies, where we have Matee, usually a Matee gentleman up there. He's telling us about the indigenous land, and we thank him for letting us use his land, which was taken from them. Adoption of minutes. They adopt the council minutes of June 18th, and disclosures of pecuniary interest if there's conflicts of interest, dollars and cents wise, where they could either make money or lose money or whatever. Then they have to declare that conflict. They can't vote on conflicts. Mayor's reports, announcements. This is usually pretty long-winded. The Big Show likes to do this, and I contend that if you want to keep city council meetings short, do these deputations and presentations and announcements. Do them somewhere else on a different day. Give away the awards to people who have done great in the city and people who deserve awards and recognition from our city for contributing to the city. But at the end of the day, do them at the Gale Center, present them there and do a video of it and put it on and everything else and get it out of the city council so that it's not so long. And our councilors are concentrating on things that matter to us and spending our tax dollars rather than giving awards and that kind of thing. And here we go, 5.1, deputations, presentations, civic recognition, of course, Special Olympic athletes, powerlifting. Ryan Posabon and Mark Fletcher are both athletes with Special Olympics and participated in the Power in the Glory, which is a powerlifting program. Congratulations to them. Dino Posabon, coach, will be in attendance to present these awards. Ryan has been powerlifting for 15 years, and he won gold in all three of his events: bench press, deadlift, and squats. Mark, the other Special Olympian, Fletcher, has been powerlifting for roughly the same time period and also competed in the provincial games. He received gold for bench, silver for squat, and bronze for deadlift. So awesome, awesome recognition for these guys. Thank you for getting out there in the Special Olympics and winning gold and bronze and silver in that for the city of Niagara Falls. 5.2, civic recognition. St. Paul High School, Niagara Falls Rowing Club. So they were, let's see, Anthony Curie is looking to recognize the achievements of the following rowers: Virginia Gates, Miles Quinton, Sabrina Cottinger, Ava Hodgson, and Ashley Fair, and Mackenzie Murray. So they're going to get awards. Congratulations to them in recognition of the St. Paul High School Rowing Club. So planning matters. Okay, we get right into planning matters right after that. And I think before we get into planning matters, there may be... Nope, not before. Nope, we're not going in camera yet. But they're going in camera as usual. Top secret, Niagara Falls. Everything's top secret here. So we are going to look at planning matters number 6.1, zoning bylaw amendment for 3897 Welland Street in Chippewa, that is, by the way. Niagara Falls, of course. Paul Peter Trees and Gail Amy Trees are looking for some zoning bylaw amendments, and staff recommends they approve them. Now, I looked at this. It's a build on Welland Street and Oliver Street in Chippewa on the corner. It'll be approved. No doubt about it. The development looks fantastic. The owners have altered their plan to conform to city bylaws and concerned citizens. So that's good. The 5 townhouses fit, and they actually have 3 parking spaces per unit. Something rare in these kinds of developments. I mean, you don't see that. The city standard is 1.4. People are usually looking for 1, 1.1, that kind of thing. Well, they're given 3, so that's great. One thing, there's a multi-page letter from a resident showing concern, which is fine, but it's so long-winded. I think it's from Randy West, if I'm not mistaken, it was from. But it's so long-winded, it's hard to get through. And, when you're talking to city councilors, that if you want to get their attention and make points, put it in point form so they can see your points, not in a flowery narrative worthy of Shakespeare. Believe me, these guys have 16 pages, reports of 126 pages, and 300 pages altogether if you printed out the whole agenda with PDFs. These flowery long diatribes do no good. Put it in point form, get your point across, and thing. Now, if you're looking for a job writing books or something, or that kind of thing, or awards for this letter, maybe. But forget about it. It's not War and Peace here. Just make it simple. It's a tough read. Points are lost. It does not build a case for the concern in any way. Stick to the facts, people. Counselors want the Reader's Digest version with facts. So this will be approved, and yeah, it looks like a great development in Chippewa. Good luck to them. Item 6.2, we're back into planning here, and it is a bylaw amendment application, a plan of vacant land condominium on John Street, 6529 St. John Street, sorry, in Niagara Falls, Stanford. And if you know, I think St. John runs and it dead ends into the parking lot of St. Thomas More Church. And so big properties there that run back to the hydro field. This is one of them with an older house on it. And they're going to build 5 detached dwellings. These aren't townhouses, they're detached dwellings, one ofs, and they're planning to be condominiums, I believe. And I've seen this before in my own neighborhood where they wanted to develop some undeveloped land in the middle of the neighborhood off of Drummond Road between Scott Street and Stevens Street. And we didn't like it. We didn't like the infilling. There's going to be traffic. There's going to be everything else that goes with it. The best we could do is get some concessions from the builders to make it a better place. They wanted to put like more like apartments in there, and they ended up building beautiful condominiums, and it worked out really good for everybody. So this is going to be approved, and the concerns of the neighbors will be read and acknowledged, but probably they're not going to have an effect. They're the usual concerns: traffic, sewers, and a change that they figure will disrupt the neighborhood. But at the end of the day, it's not going to be as much. It won't affect the neighborhood as much. We found that out in our when we had that problem, and I know it's going to be a huge change for the houses on either side. But one of the houses actually sold part of their back lot for the build. So if you're looking at the house, the one on the left sold part of his back lot for the build, and the other one they're going to tear down and go straight through. And that's basically it. So yeah, and they may be legit concerns, but they're going to pass it. And if city council decides they're going to go with the residents, the owners will just take it to the OLT, and the OLT will approve it because staff has said to approve it. Either way, if they have concerns, work with the developer to address your concerns and get some concessions if you need them. And life goes on. Unfortunately, that's the way it works with these things. Oh, now we're moving on. We're rolling here. We're rolling, and the usual in all these builds and all these planning matters. The usual conditions go on there: 3-year holds and everything else. And Niagara Falls has a big problem, and the biggest problem is not so much that we okay all kinds of plans and all kinds of buildings. It's to get them built. And I find these smaller ones like this end up getting built. Like the one on McLeod Road is a perfect example. That's gone up. It looks really nice. Actually, it looks like the drawing that the architect submitted when they did the planning proposal. And these smaller ones will probably get built. These infilling ones, it's the bigger ones they have trouble with. So there's 5 more and 5 more in Chippewa that they need for their to get their money from the provincial government on the housing, more houses faster routine. So there you go. Now, after these 2 planning matters, which should go through pretty quick, we're going to have an in-camera session of council. Now, this is usually an hour and a half. And I don't know, they usually get pizza and wings, but they may not have time at 1 in the afternoon to do that. So maybe this is going to be a good test here. See how long they go in camera. That's going to be a good test because at the end of the day, the in-cameras usually take an hour to an hour and a half. And I swear to God, they're having pizza and wings and everything. We'll see if they come over there in about 20 minutes. We'll know that it's too early for pizza and wings. But yeah, they're going in camera and you take a break and have a brewski or whatever, some popcorn, and wait for it to start up again. Number 8, reports. So 8.1, 2025 budget timetable and budget engagement plan. Now 8.1, the budget timetable and budget engagement plan. Here we go again. Are your wallets ready, everybody? Here we go. It's budget time. I can't believe it came so fast. Seems when we haven't even finished paying our last installment of the quarterly tax bill yet. I owe $917 coming up in September, and we're already talking about next year's budget. So the dates are being set to do a wallet biopsy for on you, of course. Tuesday, November 26th for the capital budget. That's the money that they spend on capital items like things they have to buy, they have to spend money on. That's one of the ways we spend the money on improvements or nonsense, depending on which way you look at it. Some of them are nonsense. And then January 25th, 2025, for the operating budget. The money spent to operate the city, the day-to-day operation, the wages and salaries and labor and blah, 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 and trucks and gas and fuel and electricity and hydro, everything. So we have to stay tuned for these dates. Keep them on your calendar. November 26th for the capital budget and January 21st for the operating budget. And that's the same day Trump will be inaugurated to be president of the United States, by the way. Good day. The money spent to operate the city, that's what it is. Stay tuned. We'll be covering them for sure. God willing that I'm still here. Now, City Council wants your opinion on this. Oh, yeah, they want your opinion. Not that they're going to listen to it, but they do want your opinion. And my opinion is always a 0% increase. That's what I like. Zero, zero. I love the number zero when it comes to taxes. But can't guarantee that. We tried that last year and nobody listened. And nobody cared in the city. We had a rally for it in front of City Hall, and 20 people showed up out of 60,000 voters or whatever. People just don't give a darn. So, City Council, you got the green light. Raise it as much as you want. Nobody's going to complain. They're going to cough up the money and shut up. That's what it looks like to me. But they want your opinion. So, the survey is going to be out running from August through to October. Me personally, I look at the surveys. The questions are all directed one way. I mean, the answers are going to get what they want out of it. They ask you a question, they know the answer before they ask it. But they're giving you the appearance you have a say. This council's managed the money poorly. Look at the condition of the city. I mean, we've got 12 years under Mayor Jim, and the roads are worse than they've ever been, and they don't look like they're getting fixed to me this summer, especially Portage Road. I was down there again, and that road is degraded. It's just a mess. And I don't see any cones up or trucks starting to work on it or anything. So maybe they will. I don't know, but I haven't seen a lot happening with that. As good as my good buddy Ralph Panucci said, we don't have a revenue problem, we have a spending problem, and he's right. Last year we wanted zero. We got 3.9% plus 1.5% for the asset management direction from the province. So yeah. So there is a dire warning when you look at the questions. That increasing services would likely increase taxes. Maintaining services will result in inflationary increases, and decreasing service levels could reduce taxes. So, in other words, suck it up, Buttercup. If you want to save anything on taxes, you get less service. Pretty soon they'll have you out there emptying your garbage bins into the truck as it comes by. It's ridiculous, and they give you these warnings to scare you that if you want more service or you want better roads, you got to increase your taxes, which they've done to 13% over the last 2 years. So don't let them fool you. They have money. It's a spending problem. They don't know how to spend. They don't know how to do a budget. So anyway, they give you these dire warnings, and why not take the results of the survey, then work the budget to what the people want? Then tell us what it'll cost. The warning's ridiculous. It's not going to lead to a fair survey. People are going to go, oh, geez, if we don't raise taxes or we want this done or reduced, then we're going to have to pay more taxes. Of course, they're going to tell you that. Of course, they're going to tell you that. And the average Joe doesn't have the information at hand to make an assessment and give good feedback anyway. So it comes back to this. Give us a clean city and good roads. That's all we want. That's what most people want and should be the first priority. In the survey, I do not see the word clean, weed-free, or manicured. So there you go. 8.2, we're rolling through this. Update on low-income seniors and people with disabilities property tax deferral. Okay. Basically, it's at $80 now. They want to raise it to $200. But there's so much rigmarole with the region, etc. So are keeping it at $80 for now. They're not going to raise it to 200 like they said they are. That's what I got out of it when I read the PDF and everything else. So for all of you who are on disability and have a low income, yeah, it doesn't look like you're going to get anything but the regular $80 for now. Anyway, they're going to keep it at that. So we move to 8.3 honorary street name change. Gord Singleton. So it's recommended that they do a street name change, and this was brought up before council about these street name changes, and they don't want to change the name of the street because the problem with that is that at the end of the day, you have to change people's addresses on all their billing and their license and everything if you change the name of the street. So they went the proper way. They made a good decision on this one, is to put an honorary sign above the street name and name it after the personality or the person who did a lot for the city. In this case, it's Gord Singleton, who was an Olympic champion in bicycle and a great guy, owned a business in the city. So yeah, yes, we should do this. And they're going to name Whirlpool Road after Gord Singleton for a period of 5 years. And then if they want to continue it, they can. But Gord Singleton Road or Way, whatever they're going to call it. And I like that. Gord was a great guy, if you knew him. And he did a lot. He was a real champion and ambassador for the city. And that's a good thing. So it's really nice to see that they're going to honor Gord with this sign. Congratulations to City Council for this. Congratulations to to Gord Singleton for all he did for the city. I mean, he won't hear me, but his family will, and they're a lovely family. I know them, and God bless them all. 8.4 amendment to bylaw 207 to include the definition of weeds. I never knew this was so controversial. Like those things that grow up 8 feet tall and make you sneeze, they're weeds, and they're weeds, and they're weeds, and they're weeds. But here's the problem: they need a definition because some people have a front yard. They actually grow weeds. There's these people who don't like a green lawn. They want weeds growing on their front yard, and for some reason they think it looks good, and then they throw an old toilet out there and an old bathtub and whatever. So now they're going to define what weeds are, so that the bylaw guys can go around and say, no, that's grass. No, that's a natural garden. No, that's weeds. And they're going to define that, which oh gosh, I mean, city stumped as to what to do with weeds because of some people. They think weeds are good and flowers and everything else. But whatever grows over 8 inches has to be cut. The city is a mess, and with the influx of absentee owners during the real estate speculation, it's gotten worse. And bylaw officers, they don't look for violations. I mean, they just have to drive around my neighborhood and they'll see tons of violations. But they don't. They're there for a purpose to give somebody a ticket for parking on the road or whatever. So calling it doesn't seem to matter. They really can't get a hold of these absentee owners anyway, and the renters don't want to cut it. And if there's no renters, they're absent. There's nobody there. So that makes it a worse situation. And the most you can do is get the city to cut it and put it on their tax bill, I guess. But, this is the way it works. I've got a broken down car and people living in a tent across the street from me in the backyard. So, that's allowed, I guess. Nobody can get them out of there. Landlord's Chinese in Toronto, and talked to them. They seem to be nice, but they're 100 miles away and they don't care. So it doesn't seem to matter. But anyway, we'll see what happens with that one. I love Councillor Baldinelli, though. No-dos, I call him. He gave them a bam moan a few months ago. Ba-bam! When he said that the city has to take care of their own problems with weeds. And I look out of the meteor crater and I see it every day before they start giving tickets out to city residents. Bam! Thank you very much, Councillor Baldinelli. I can't wait to do a city council review after 2 years. We're going to do it in November, and to start grading these city councilors again. We've done it twice now, 100 days in 1 year. 8.5 is lease amending agreement with the Stanford Center Volunteer Firemen's Association at Fireman's Park. Now you know Fireman's Park. It's kept up by the Stanford Volunteer Firemen's Association. They have a 99-year lease agreement. It was entered in 2014 in agreement with them, but it needs to be redone, taking into account city assets as per the provincially mandated asset management plan that I talked about before for all municipalities. And they're going to dedicate, the city's going to dedicate a small operations budget. They're going to create one to maintain some of the assets in Fireman's Park that are actually city assets. Not the volunteer firefighters, firemen's assets. So they're going to need a small budget to be able to take care of them. And the city has about $2.8 million of assets sitting in Fireman's Park, including the bathrooms, the public bathrooms, and other parts of the park that are city property, city assets. So they're going to have to manage them. They're going to earmark some money from the budget for that, and just to redo this lease so that they're included in the city's capital, the asset management plan that they had to do. So that's good. There you go, firefighters. You're going to get some relief from some of this stuff. City basically leases to them, and they maintain it, and they've done a great job. And they also put money into it when they do big remodeling projects there, like the amphitheater they did. But at the end of the day, they do contribute a lot of their money from events there and that kind of thing they run, which is a good thing. It's a beautiful place and something that we really are proud of in the city of Niagara Falls. And hats off to the firefighters who take care of it, and to the city who supports it. Okay, so I don't have any notes coming up for the next few little things, so we will go through them. So we talked about 8.4. We talked about 8.5, the lease agreement with the Stanford City Volunteer Firefighter Association, Firemen's Association. And then we move on. The consent agenda. And it's a set of reports that could be approved in one motion of council. So usually it is, unless some councilor has an objection or has a question or has something to say about one of the motions, and then it'll be brought out and discussed, and they may vote against that, but okay, the rest of them or whatever. So annual update on low-income seniors and people with disabilities, water and property tax rebate program. They already talked about that, so they'll be giving their consent to that probably. Prospect Street parking control review, and they've redone Prospect Street, of course, by the hospital, and they want to make sure that nobody's parking, like driving people crazy that live on there. So they ban parking for so many meters from the main streets, Portage Road and Drummond Road, and no stopping at all times. Zones be established, and that kind of thing. So they'll agree to that. I mean, people don't want to park in the parking lot and pay $8 to go into the hospital and see someone, so they park on the side streets for free. And they have to put limits on where they can park and that kind of thing. Just so that the people who live on these streets, they still have to live with this. So they live on the street, they can get in and out of their driveway and negotiate the street, navigate the street without cars all over the place. So that's going to be okay. And that's the only two in there. So we move on to item 10, communications and comments of the city clerk, Bill Matson. Of course, when we look at that, the recommendations are that council approve and support items 10.1 through and including 10.7. We'll look at them one at a time after my plug for my second sponsor, Hamilton Glowstone Lighting. And Hamilton Glowstone Lighting, if you've ever been down the street and you've seen a house that's beautifully lit up at night, you go, wow, look at that. That's spectacular. Probably Hamilton Glowstone Lighting. They are the leaders in outdoor permanent lighting solutions, and they're unbelievable. They put this track lighting up in zones, and you can control each zone from your phone as far as color goes, and other things in the application. And at the end of the day, it's a very, very nice look for your house. St. Patrick's Day, all green. Prince's birthday, all purple. Halloween, all orange. Christmas, red and black. Unbelievable. Or sorry, red and black. That's NFCBI days, red and black. How do you have black lights? But anyway, red and green. Canada, they red and white. You can do any combination you want. They have zones, and they're all soldered and sealed, and they're impervious to dust and moisture. You don't have to worry about them. 10-year warranty on them, and they're all beautiful LED lights. Um, your meter is not going to be spitting like a top. They take very little power. They add very little to your hydro bill when you have them on, which is beautiful. Now, if you want to Griswold your house, they have financing. You can finance this whole thing if you like. And also, they do offer a 10-year warranty on these lights. Now, when they put them up, you don't see them. They blend in with the colors on your house, so you don't even know they're there in the daytime. It's not like when you put up Christmas lights, you got cords and plugs and extension cords and everything all over the place. They're safe. They light up your pathways. They light up your driveway. You can have them do anything you like. Now, how do you get these wondrous lights? Well, you call Colin Buckborough at Hamilton Glowstone Lighting, and his number is 289-969-1797. And he'll come down, give you a free estimate, and if you're into it, you want to do it, he's going to put them up for you professionally, and it'll be a job well done. If you want to see a gallery of the beautiful jobs that they've done, go to glowstonelighting.com, glowstonelighting.com, just like it sounds. And there's a gallery there. You can see the beautiful work that they do and how beautiful the houses look after Glowstone Lighting. Hamilton Glowstone Lighting has been there and done their work. Hamilton Glowstone Lighting, a call at 289-969-1797. Call in Buckborough today and tell them that Paul from Your City, Your Voice sent you. He'll be happy to hear that. Okay, so we move on to the recommendations here. And number 10.1, flag raising request. No, you know me, no flags, no flags. We do not raise flags. Canadian flag, city flag, provincial flag, yes, but flags for different stuff like the United Way campaign and countries and foreign countries and everything else, no. We have to get rid of this. They got rid of it at the regional council level for foreign countries, and it'll be time to get rid of them all. No, we don't want it. There's too much controversy in the world. We do not want flags at all. If you let one up, then you got to let them all up. So just don't let them up. That's it. One day we'll learn. But until then, every time I see it, I'm going to say no. Proclamation request Giving Tuesday. So basically, it's donation day, championing charities across the nation. So it's about giving to charity. Giving Tuesday, it's called. And yeah, that's founder and movement lead. Niagara Gives is the Josh Blues. Yes, he's Chuck. Founder and movement lead at Niagara Gives. Yes, he's Chuck. I don't know if I said it right. Sorry, Josh, but I tried to get as close as I could. But anyway, yes, okay, that's going to be okayed. Flag raising proclamation, Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. We don't raise any flags. I don't. It doesn't matter. No flags. That's the way it is with me. But they will. And I just have to say this. It's a great Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. That's fantastic. Great, great thing. And John and Eric Bauer, on behalf of Miranda's Miracles, I had Patty Bauer in at one time, the mother of Miranda Bauer, and did a great show with her. She's a very nice lady, very nice family, and I get it. I don't like flags though, and also we can't forget preventing childhood cancer. We always talk about cures for it and finding a cure and everything else, but what about preventing it by making sure that lands we build on are chemical free, so they don't cause cancer in the first place? And I sit here week after week with Mike Cushman and Gary Wilkins, and I talk about this, is that it's great to have all these box runs and all these things for childhood cancer and to find a cure and everything else, but very few people talk about preventative measures that they can do. And that's why city council should ensure that every piece of land that we build on is clean. And when you see houses and places being built on the Cyanamid property that isn't clean, you've got to say no, or you've got to make sure that it's totally clean. And that's where our friends on city council, like Mike Strange, who's such a proponent of finding a cure for childhood cancer and raising money for it, and Victor Peterangelo, who went on the run up the Bruce Trail with them, and other councilors who are really, really big proponents of this, have to go out and take a look at these properties and ensure they're clean in the first place. Prevention is better than a cure. Let's not have it a problem in the first place. So let's not forget about that while we're talking about raising a flag and making a proclamation about childhood cancer and awareness. And thank you very much to Gary Wilkins and Mike Cushman, who are always talking about this and champions of this. It's great what Mike and Vic do. It's a credit to them. But there's also the stuff that you can do before, and that's by being on city council, being responsible, and making sure these places are clean before they build on it. That's the way. Preventative. That's the other half of the equation. 10.4 proclamation request, child care worker and early childhood education appreciation day. Yes. That's no problem. We will appreciate what they do, and we will recognize that as a proclamation. I don't know what day they want that. Let's see a day here. Oh, October 24th, 2024. Excuse me. And month of September, they want to proclaim for the Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, with correspondence from Patty John and Eric Bauer on behalf of Miranda's Miracles. And let's see, that's the another proclamation request here. Rail Safety Week. Okay, we're going to declare Rail Safety Week, September 23rd to the 29th. So let's start with the dangerous chemicals being going through the city every day on these 20-mile long trains that hold up traffic. Let's start with those chemicals and removing the tracks so they don't go through the middle of the city, and fixing the crossings so that you can go over them and not break your teeth. So I think Stephen Covey, CN Chief of Police and Chief Security Officer, should talk to that. Somebody should ask him a question about, okay, why don't we do this for safety? Quit putting the trains through the city with dangerous chemicals. So there's a big accident like in Palestine, Ohio. Let's start there for safety. And also, let's fix the crossings when they're decrepit, these old wooden crossings and stuff, and make sure that it doesn't break your car. So there you go. That'll be okay, though. I mean, but somebody should stand up and say that. I would. Why not? I think I would say that. I would say that for sure. Okay, so 10.6 food truck request, Niagara Falls Soccer Club, 62nd annual AC Douglas Soccer Tournament. Attaches request from Paul Lippiani, president of the Niagara Falls Soccer Club, requesting that, and there will be okayed. That's August 10th and 11th, 2004. They will have the food truck there. That's going to be okayed. And the special occasion permit, 10.7, Always June Organic Farm. So their organizers are looking to council for a letter of municipal significance for a festival taking place at the Always June Organic Farms, located at 5584 Niagara Town Line, Niagara Falls, on August 24th, 2024. So they want the city to declare it as a municipally significant event. And that'll help the organizers in obtaining a special occasion permit from the AGCO. Which, yes. Say it's significant and let them do their thing, because I think that's going to be a good event for those who are into organic stuff. And we go. Number 10.8, physician shortage. There's a letter attached from Kimberly Moran, CEO, Ontario Medical Association, and Colin Best, AMO, president of the same, in regards to a draft resolution urging the provincial government to recognize the physician shortage, which we know there is. I mean, it's really hard to get a new doctor. So I think the province itself is trying to fast track people from other places who have received their medical license in other countries, that they want to come here. to get that transposed over to an Ontario certificate as fast as possible. So this is just a letter for council to approve. They approve of what's going on with this. So that'll be approved. So I don't see anything on the consent agenda that they won't approve, other than I would get up and talk to the CN guy and say, listen, but that's just me. I don't think you'll see anybody do that. But wouldn't it be cool? One of our counselors stood up and said, hey, you want safety? How about this? I think that'd be a riot. I'd be laughing my head off if they did it. I don't see anybody doing it, but hey, we can always dream. Communications and comments of the city clerk, Bill Matson, and they're saying that council to receive information on some of this stuff here. And let's see, 11.1 town of Fort Erie MTO median barriers on QEW. They want to put some median barriers so people can go flying into the fields. That's fine. That's fine. Receive the information and file. Yes. Okay. 11.2 is the We Go Blue line. So the We Go Blue and Green lines are going to continue to be run by the Niagara Parks Commission, integrating with regional transit and looking at offering workers' transportation pass for locals to use to travel to and from work. Bob Gale, he's the new chairman of the Parks Commission. I think he's really going to get the parks going. You just know it. This is the kind of guy Bob is. This is one of the first things he's going to do is look for this workers' transportation pass. And it's like that council received the information. It just tells about what they're going to do of a recent decision made on June 13th regarding We Go Blue Line operations. And that's a good thing. The parks took these over, and as we still have that part of WeGo. The rest went to excuse me, I have to scratch my nose. I'm not picking my nose out there. The rest went to Niagara Region, the transit, and it cost us 5 times what it would have cost if we kept it. But that's the way it goes when you deal with the region. If you think Niagara Falls is tax and spend, the region makes them look like pikers. Believe me. 11.3 Niagara Regional Correspondence, public notice study commencement, Portage trunk sewer rehabilitation. I looked at the map. There's a trunk sewer that runs down by Sheldon Street and everything. And it runs down that way, and they're going to rehabilitate that. It's an old line that's been there for a lot of years, and they want to rehabilitate it and send it down. So they're going to do that. And at the end of the day, they're going to do that. So just for the council's information, they're going to be looking at that. And good. Replace it. It probably needs replacing anyway. There's a lot of old stuff in Niagara Falls. 11.4, City of St. Catharines Green Roads Pilot Project. Oh boy. Here we go. 11.4, another bunch of baloney meant to grab more money from people. Apparently, St. Catharines left-wing kooks have decided they're in a climate change emergency. Ladies and gentlemen, climate change emergency. Where have I heard that before? Every time I hear that, something is gone from the pocket and from my wallet. But anyway, it's a climate change emergency. And basically, whatever that is, and they need to cut their carbon footprint by using less petroleum-based materials on their roads. They don't work. So we're going to go to plant-based, bioresin. That's one of it probably costs more, of course. The bioresin is probably more expensive than oil-based petroleum products like asphalt and stuff. But yeah, they want to go to that based on plant oils rather than petroleum. They want to test to see how it works and are letting city council know. Whoopee you. Yeah, go ahead. But just don't leave us alone. Don't tap our wallets for it. Come up with these bright ideas, bioresins. Somebody's making money off of this, and it's probably going to work like crazy. We're gonna pave our roads with plants. Okay, sure. Guess what? There's probably going to be like 1% bioresin, and the rest will be oil and petroleum anyway. These climate change people, they drive you nuts. 11.5 Niagara Peninsula Conservation Authority resolution notice, water quality monitoring program. The reports included 134 pages. I didn't go through it all. But if you want to, it's there. Go to niagarafalls.ca and go to the City Council agenda and go to item 11.5, and you can read about water quality monitoring. And it's a report. I went through a little bit of it, but yeah, you can go through it if you want. City Council, they're just saying to to receive the information, which they will do. They're going to say received and filed. Yeah. 11.6 AMO advocacy on homeless encampments. And homelessness is getting worse. It's all the time. I saw somebody post last night. There was 10 people flaked out on sidewalks. They had to call the cops because they didn't know if the guy was alive. This is getting to be a real big problem. Not that it hasn't been in previous years, but now it's even worse. So it was a pretty interesting read of how different cities try and deal with the crisis. The bottom line is what they are doing is not working. And the problem continues to get worse. So what they're doing isn't working. The problem's getting worse. And I read the letters there, the PDFs and everything, and it's pretty interesting. Common themes in encampments include violence, criminal activity, but not exclusive. Fentanyl trafficking, fire risk, sanitary implications, pest and road problems, criminal acts, violence, and real threats to citizens in the immediate areas. In Ontario, 45% of tenant households spend 30% or more of their household income on shelter, the highest rate across the country. In 2025, it'll be closer to 50%. So you can see why homelessness is a problem around here. The provincial government has to fix it. They got to step up. All governments are responsible with the same tax hikes and immigration policies. If you want some real insight into this, you can read this item. What was it, 11.6? But if you really want some insight into it, what I would suggest is you go to YouTube and look for a guy named Mark Laita, Laita. And I talked about this earlier in my other shows. And he is in Skid Row in LA, which encompasses 50 city blocks and 75,000 people. And he really believes, after talking to thousands of people and being down on Skid Row, that you really can't change this. These people are there and they're entrenched. They're not going to leave easily. So what his thing is that you've got to stop it before it starts. It's a fundamental change of the way people are, with families and fathers that aren't incarcerated or left, and mothers that aren't addicted to drugs. You got to catch this when people are children and help them to rise up rather than stay in a bad situation. And he deals with Skid Rows all the time. Go watch some of his videos. They're really informative about homelessness and his take on what's needed to fix the problem. And you might not like what he has to say, or you might not agree with him, but you have to agree that what they're doing now is not working. We're seeing more and more of it. It's getting worse, not better. We've been throwing money and all these resources at this with one mindset for 20 years. So, the definition of insanity: do the same things over and over and expect different results. Listen, I don't care how many movies you watch about the Titanic. At the end, it sinks. It sinks. So, yeah, go see this Mark Laita guy and see what he has to say. It's very, very interesting, but an interesting read. Read that item 11.6. Very interesting, and yeah, I read it all. It was pretty good. What else we got here? And they say, working together to prevent poverty and increase well-being in Niagara. It's 36-page report. Interesting stuff. Check it out. Regulations for importation safe use of lithium-ion batteries, and that's an interesting one because we know that lithium-ion batteries have been banned from cargo holds on planes, and people are finally realizing how dangerous these batteries are. Some EVs are not allowed in underground parking areas due to the possibility of fires and explosions. Um, they're calling on government to ban importation of cheap, non-approved batteries into Canada from foreign producers that bypass Canada's certification, ULC, and all that, which is a good move. So it's for information for City Council. I hope everybody read it. It's pretty interesting, really, and they'll receive it and file it. So we're getting through this. So now we move to ratification of in-camera and notice of motion new business. One, is a notice of motion from Lori Lococo, Councilor Lococo, for a motion of notice for notice, a motion of notice. It's a notice of motion for infill developments and in regards to investigating ways to mitigate a number of issues experienced during infill developments. Well, I appreciate what she's trying to do, but I don't think you're ever going to mitigate residents' concerns, which are always the same when it comes to infilling. We talked about it for the place on New St. John Street. Nobody wants new builds in their quiet neighborhoods. And basically, that's what it's all about. I don't know how they're going to mitigate concerns before they hit council. It would be great if they could, but it usually isn't because people don't like change. They don't like these developments in their old neighborhoods when they're used to green space and peace and quiet. So I don't know if there's a way to mitigate concerns. They can investigate all they want. I don't know what the findings will be. It'll probably be just, stuff like listening to people's concerns and that kind of thing. But at the end of the day, it's very, very hard to mitigate concerns about this because no matter where you go, people do not like change and they don't want stuff in their backyard. The old NIMBY, not in my backyard. That's the way it goes. So, yeah, I don't see anything happening with this. A good motion. They'll spend some time on it. But at the end of the day, we know the results. And, yeah. Another notice of motion, Niagara Falls University accommodations for student and family. Request from Councilor Lococo requesting that staff inquire further into housing and additional resources that would be required for the anticipated 2,000 plus students that arrive in Niagara Falls for September 2024 start. Well, they better start flying here or getting here because I haven't seen one student. And there's going to be 2,000. I really I'll be shocked if we see 2,000 students going to this thing. But my question is at 13.2 here is planning's good, but it's a little late. I mean, we've seen 0 students investigate housing in July, the middle of July for a September start. They're not going to build anything. Where are they going to get the housing from for 2,000 students and families? Regardless, even if they show up, any build is going to be impossible in the next 2 months. So, yeah, we have to be prepared, and that's a good idea, but this should have been done 3 years ago. No? Am I wrong on this? Am I missing the boat on this one? I'd say this has to be done 3 years ago when all this started about the University of Niagara Falls. I remember Jim Diodati being in here and saying that was one of his things. There's going to be a great announcement about 10 to 15,000 students in downtown Niagara Falls in the next 5 years. Well, we're 2 years in, Jim, and I haven't seen even one student. And now they're talking about 2,000 all of a sudden in the next month. What do I know? I'm just a dummy sitting behind a microphone, but it doesn't make sense to me. Anyway, you can move that motion. I don't know what's going to come out of it. We'll see what the discussion is about it and go from there. And that stops that. Let's see. Notice the motions, and here we go. Number 14. These motions here. Now this comes back to the last meeting where Councilor NP Nincompoop tried to bring into the meeting without being stopped by the mayor. She had all kinds of motions going on. It was a motion frenzy. You couldn't keep track of it. Bill Matson's head was spinning on his shoulders, and the penguin, he didn't know what to do. Big penguin, he was all confused. She was throwing out motions left and right. It was like whatever she thought of was a motion. Let's have a motion and not allow black cars. Let's have a motion for square tires. It was unbelievable. And now they're all in writing here because that's what you have to do. And I don't know why Mayor Jim didn't stop her, by the way, and say, listen, if you're going to make motions, put them in writing and bring them to the next meeting like they did today. Yeah. But anyway, she's got all kinds here, and they're all going to take staff time and money to do. And it's kind of crazy. And we'll go through them. And, if you like a property standards bylaw, Patel brought up the following motion. The staff be directed to amend the property standards bylaw to expand the scope of the bylaw to include grass, weeds on boulevards, islands, the traffic triangles, roundabouts, vacant buildings, graffiti, overflowing garbage, I mean, she took it all. She was the one that got up and said, "Oh, there's no litter in this city. This is a clean city. There's no litter in my neighborhood. I go around and I didn't see any litter. Anybody who's litter, anybody who says that this is not a clean city is downgrading Niagara Falls and blah blah blah." 2 weeks later, she's making this motion about garbage and everything else. Right? That wasn't there 2 weeks before. I don't know where it came from. And furthermore, that council direct BIAs and commercial plaza owners to do their first landscaping, including grass cuttings, weed cleanup. Yeah, they permitted by weather before Victoria Day. So all you business owners who don't have anything better to do, make sure you're looking, your property's looking good before Victoria Day. That's when the tourists come. Okay, sure. Oh man, I tell you, it gets wackier every day. City of Niagara Falls downtown. Here's a motion: the council form a downtown committee made up of council members and the downtown merchants or other stakeholders who would oversee business expenditures. I mean, wasn't that the BIA that they dissolved and got rid of by her vote? And the committee's going to deal with cameras, flowers, Santa Claus parade, um, Claus with, Santa Claus with an E, and special events. I look like Santa Claus. Maybe I should run it. Also, they'll provide ideas to increase local traffic and business. I mean, this all takes so much time to do. The staff is going to, they don't have enough to do. I mean, I guarantee you, our CEO is going to want to hire more people just to do Councillor NP's bidding here. I mean, and here's another one: Center Street patio. They said they were open for things. They're blocking the streets. Most of the business owners don't want them because it disrupts traffic. She wants to look into it again. Council introduced a motion to discuss reconsideration of the agreement that ended last year that allowed partial closure of Center Street. It's a pain in the ass for emergency vehicles, fire trucks to get in there if something happens. It's a pain in the neck for traffic. You got to close traffic down. They got rid of them for a reason, and the business people wanted to get rid of them for a reason. They held them an extra year as it was because the business people down there that had the patios like that invested in tables and chairs and everything else, and they wanted at least another year out of it to try to get their money back, their capital expense for these things. So I can see that. Now they're closed. Everything's open again, the way it should be. If you want to make a motion to close all traffic on all the streets, even Clifton Hill, and make it a pedestrian walkway. That's what I would like to see. But this is to bring this back. Here we go again. I mean, oh my goodness, these are just nonsense motions that waste time. Hosting of events, Spring Lichen and Christmas Market. It brought forth the following motions, and these were just motions that had nothing to do with the original motion. She brought forward a motion, and then all of a sudden, these were flying out of her head. Everything she thought of, Center Street. It was crazy. It was a half an hour, 45 minutes of this nonsense. Come back with a report outlining options and plans for hosting similar events like Spring Licious and the Christmas Market, including financial implications, funding models. I do realize how much city time, staff time is for this, and how much it costs us taxpayers for all these crazy motions. Seriously, folks, this is nonsense. Staff has better things to do, like figure out how they're going to fix all our roads and how they're going to spend our money so that it's allocated right. Never mind these crazy things. It just makes me mad. I just get upset, and I got to stop. It just makes me mad, and for anyone to let this go on, this craziness is beyond me. Why they do, and you may call me names about this and everything. I don't care. This isn't the way you run meetings. This is crazy. This is crazy stuff, and it cost us money, taxpayers. Believe me. You ask Jason Burgess, corner him, and ask him. Ask the Penguin, what's this costing us? All these motions and all these. He'll tell you. He'll tell you what they're not doing while they're attending to all this craziness, reports and studies and implications and funding models and everything else. Okay, I'm stopping. Number 15, bylaws. Now, all the bylaws there's a bunch of bylaws here. These have all gone through city council before. They've all been approved, and they're just coming back for ratification. So they'll go through all the bylaws and that the bylaw to adopt and ratify and confirm the actions of city council, and they'll do all that. That'll be okay. There'll be nothing there that they're going to raise their hands. Everything's okay. And we come to item 16, adjournment. That's it. We're done. That's the city council agenda. That's what's going to happen. That's what we're going to see. You watch and listen, see what happens, see if I'm right or wrong about this stuff. And if you get a chance, read some of the reports and that. It do you good on the water and that. It's always interesting to read these reports. They are good reports and coming from other cities and good suggestions and everything else and that kind of thing. So, go through it, read it, watch the city council meeting. You kind of know where you are. Have the agenda in front of you if you can. It helps you to get through it. And you'll see the planning matters and that kind of thing. But that's how it's going to go down today at 1 o'clock. It's noon now, so I got an hour to clean up here and get home and go and watch city council and see if it comes. And I hope somebody stands up and talks to that CN guy, though. That would be awesome. That I want to see that, but it probably won't. Anyway, enjoy the show. It is going to be a show. It'll probably run about 5 hours, including the hour for the in-camera meeting they usually take. But we'll see. We'll see if that's a shorter in-camera meeting. I'm gonna time that one because with no wings and pizza, it might be a shorter meeting, and we want to get it done and get out of there. They want to get home to have a nice barbecue, the counselors, and God bless them. They should. They go through 9-10 hour meetings, and they're all tired and everything, and they don't know what they're talking about and make bad decisions. This way, they're going to be fresh. And the meeting next month in August is going to be the same. It's going to be a 1 o'clock start. So I will probably do the show on the Monday before. Of course, this Monday, yesterday, we did a special tribute show because our fearless leader, Rick Rose, passed away. And we talked about Rick Rose and everything he's done for us, me included, with the show here that you watch every day. It was all because of Rick. Rick gave us the shot to do it. Pete Dichter was in. We talked about him. You're seeing hundreds of accolades on the Facebook for Rick. And it's because he was that great of a guy and a legend in Niagara Falls in the music scene. Yeah, a heart as big as the city. And when I said that, Peter Dichter said, bigger. And he's right. Anyway, my name is Paul K. Lemire. This is Your City, Your Voice, coming to you live from downtown Niagara Falls. Don't forget to support our sponsors, Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop right here. Wild Bill's. And Hamilton Glowstone Lighting. We'll see you tomorrow with Habs-Absolutely, all Habs, all show. And we'll talk a little bit more about Rick and how we got Habs-Absolutely going and how Rick spearheaded it. And we'll also, I have Paul Vickery coming in on Friday, Mr. Golf. We're going to talk about the golf tournament that's going on this weekend, the big Open. We'll talk about that, the winners, losers, and dark horses. You might be able to make a few bucks if you're into betting on golf. And then we'll fire up on Monday with Buzzard Ball. Billy Tellerico, self-proclaimed expert in baseball, all things baseball in Niagara Falls, is going to be on the show. Always fun when the Buzzard comes in. And like my buddy Kevin Mancuso says, whatever he tells you to bet the opposite, and you're going to win a lot of money. I'll have him in. And then next Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I am taking time off. And I am headed out of town and taking time off and taking 4 days off. So there won't be any shows on those days. And we'll come back on Monday, July 29th with a big shoe, a really big shoe. So tune in tomorrow at noon for Habs-Absolutely and Thursday for, of course, Straight Talk Thursday. And then finally Friday with Mr. Golf Paul Vickery. Have a great day, everybody. Hopefully it doesn't rain on your parade today, but it looks like it's gonna. And we'll see you tomorrow at noon sharp if you're into the Habs. If not, Thursday on Straight Talk Thursday. With the latest from Niagara Falls. And, of course, we're going to talk about City Council and what went down. How can I resist? It's what I do. Take care, everybody. Have a great day.